Hey everyone, it is Mr. Vargas here checking back in with you after a nice long break. I am here to help out Math 8 today. In particular, we are checking out homework assignment 4.1, representing relationships on page 273. Let's go ahead and get started. So we've got three nice long word problems today. And I want you guys, I'll at least run through numbers 1 and kind of go through 2 and 3 quickly. Hopefully by that point, by the time we get to number 3, you should feel confident enough to do it on your own. Okay, number 1 says something like this. The number of baskets, and excuse my little grammar error, there should be an S there. The number of baskets a company produces each day is shown in the table. Now that we are transitioning into this idea of functions, we're going to be working a lot more with what we call tables of values. And this is just where we compare two different values, and usually we set them up like this. We'll have an X side, and really the letters are kind of arbitrary. They don't necessarily matter, but usually it'll be X and Y. Depending on the word problem, you might see those letters changed. But anyways, these are typically just points that we can graph on the coordinate plane. So if I had like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, those would just be points that we could then graph on the coordinate grid. I would first graph the point 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7. And what this table does is it represents this idea of a function. And we'll talk more about that in class. Alright, let's look at number 1. The number of baskets a company produces each day is shown in the table. Here we go, we've got this table. The way that I would read this is the number of days D is on the left hand side, and the total number of baskets B is on the right hand side. And the way that we read this is on day 1, we produce a total of 45 baskets. On day 2, somehow we end up with 90 baskets. After 3 days, we end up with 135 baskets. After 4 days, we end up with 180 baskets. So every single day we are adding more and more baskets to our total collection. And here it's kind of easy to see. We did this last chapter where we looked at rates of change. As this goes up by 1, well, what's happening to my total number of baskets? Those are also going up, this time by 45. So as I add 1 day to this side, my baskets increase by 45. As I add another day, my baskets go up by 45. And you could keep doing this on and on forever and ever on both sides. But instead of doing that, let's write an equation right here where it says write an equation to underline the total number of baskets crafted in any number of days. Let's use the letters that they give us. We've got D and B. So here, my total number of baskets B is just equal to however many baskets I'm producing every day. And based on the equation, or based on the table, I'm going up 45 every day. That's my rate of change. So I can just write that, 45 times, what's my variable for the number of days? It's just D, and that's my equation right there. And the way that I would read this is the total number of baskets is equal to 45 times the number of days. If I want to write that in words, describe this relationship in words, let me zoom in a little bit. You could say the total number of baskets B equals 45 times the number of days, and we use the letter D to represent that. Alright, so basically that means every single day we are producing 45 new baskets. Alright, so now let's go down to the last part. Use the equation to determine how many buckets the company makes in one non-leap year. One non-leap year, use the equation. This is all important information. Really quickly, in one non-leap year, we know that there are 365 days. Okay, so that's obviously going to be my D, 365 days, or 365D. So let's go ahead and use our equation from part A. Use this equation, B equals 45 times D, to figure out how many baskets let me change that really quick. This should not be buckets, this should be baskets. Okay, so use this equation, B equals 45 times D, to figure out how many baskets we make in 1 year. All I have to do now is take 365, replace it with my D, and that gets me B. That will produce B. So B equals 45 times 365. Let's do that math over here. 365 times 45. Alright, carry the 3. Okay, jump down. 2 again. Add it all up. And you should get 16,425 total baskets in 1 year. So if you make 45 baskets every day for a year straight, you're going to end up with 16,425 baskets. There we go. Alright, let's check out number 2. Okay, number 2, I didn't write the problem down here, but I just kind of want to, tell you guys what to look for. So we have this coordinate plane off to the right. It looks like this. It's got time, and it's got distance going along the vertical axis. Alright, and then on this on this coordinate plane, we've got a point here, we've got a point here, here, and here. And they give you some numbers to represent those points. The first one is 1, 23. Second one is 2, 46. The third one is 3, 69, and so forth and so on. But as you can see, this is creating a linear relationship. So we can write an equation to represent what's happening here for this firefly or dragonfly as it's traveling. And part A of the problem asks you, or tells you, write an equation to find how far the dragonfly can travel, D, so we're going to use the variables D, in any number of seconds, T. Okay, so d is my total distance, t is how much time is being spent, and basically what's happening here from point to point, this guy is going up, or he's traveling 23 feet further every second. So this becomes a really simple equation. My distance is just equal to 23 times my time. All this means is that every second, every t, I increase by 23 feet. Then it says use the equation to determine how far the dragonfly can travel in 1 minute. So I've got my equation, d equals 23t. 1 minute I know is how many seconds? Yes, you guessed it. That's equal to 60 seconds. And since my time is in seconds, I can just go ahead and replace t with 60 and figure out how far that dragonfly went. I'll leave that up to you, and I'll also leave number 3 up to you guys as well, because I want to end this video. It's getting a little bit too long. Alright guys, good luck, see you in class.